بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله وسلم على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, praise be to Allah. Peace be upon the Prophet Muhammad, his family, his companions. Inshallah, by the will of Allah, we continue our training course related to the fundamentals of faith. Today we are going to study the last pillar of faith. It is the belief in Al-Qadar. The belief in Al-Qadar. What is Al-Qadar? Al-Qadar means the divine measure or the predestination or fate. The divine measure which Allah ordained and decreed everything for the creation according to His omniscience and sublime wisdom. This is the meaning of Al-Qadar. Al-Qadar has several aspects. Al-Qadar has several aspects. First of all, the belief that Allah knows everything. The belief that Allah knows everything related to His actions and related to the actions of His creation. So this is the first matter related to Al-Qadar, that Allah knows everything related to His actions and related to the actions of His creation. He knows the single details of everything. Everything where to happen and when to happen. Because Allah is the all-knower. Allah is the all-knower. The second matter related to Al-Qadar is that Allah wrote everything in Al-Lawh al-Mahfuz, the preserved tablet. Al-Lawh al-Mahfuz, the preserved tablet. Allah wrote everything in that book. And that book is with Allah. And that book is with Allah. Allah, the Most High, said in the Holy Quran, أَلَمْ تَعْلَمْ أَنَّ اللَّهَ يَعْلَمُ مَا فِي السَّمَاءِ وَالْأَرْضِ إِنَّ ذَلِكَ فِي كِتَابٍ إِنَّ ذَلِكَ عَلَى اللَّهِ يَسِيرٌ. Don't you know that Allah knows everything in heavens and in earth? Indeed, this is in a book. And indeed, this is for Allah is easy. There is an hadith, an authentic hadith, reported by Muslim. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, Allah ordained and decreed everything in Al-Lawh al-Mahfuz 50,000 years before the creation of heavens and earth. Allah ordained and decreed everything in Allah al-Mahfuz 50,000 years before He created the heavens and the earth. So, Allah has the foreknowledge before everything happens in the heavens and in the earth. The third matter related to the belief in Al-Qadr. We believe, or we have to believe, that Allah, or that everything in heavens and in earth does not occur, does not happen except by the will of Allah. Except by the will of Allah. Nothing can happen in the whole universe and earth, including earth, except by the will of Allah. Allah, the Most High, said in the Holy Quran, وَرَبُّكَ يَخْلُقُ مَا يَشَاءُ وَيَخْتَارُ. Indeed, your Lord created whatever He wills and He chooses. Nothing can happen except by the will of Allah. And Allah, the Almighty, said in the Holy Quran also, وَيَفْعَلُ اللَّهُ مَا يَشَاءُ. Allah does what He wills. Allah does what He wills. And also, things related to the actions of the creation. Even those who deny the guidance, even those who disbelieve in the truth, they don't disbelieve except by the will of Allah. Allah, the Almighty, said in the Holy Quran, وَلَوْ شَاءَ اللَّهُ مَا فَعَلُوهُ فَذَرْهُمْ وَمَا يَفْتَرُونَ. Had Allah willed, they would not have done so. Had Allah willed, they would not have done so. So leave them with their fabrications. Even the action of the disbelievers does not happen except by the will of Allah. The action of the believers, the action of the disbelievers do not happen except by the will of Allah. And the fourth matter, we have to believe that Allah created all things, including their actions, their qualities, and their movements. We have to believe in that Allah created all creations, including their actions and their qualities and their movements. We have to believe in that. Allah, the Most High, said in the Holy Quran, وَخَلَقَ كُلَّ شَيْءٍ فَقَدَّرَهُ تَقْدِيرًا. Allah created all things and He has measured it with the best measurement. And Allah, the Almighty, said in the Holy Quran, وَاللَّهُ خَلَقَكُمْ وَمَا تَعْمَلُونَ. Allah created you and what you make. Allah created you and what you make. So Allah created the creations and created their actions. These are the several matters, several aspects related to the belief in Al-Qadr. The predestination, or the divine measure, or the fate, with which Allah ordained and decreed for everything in this universe. Okay. The belief in Al-Qadr does not mean that the abd or the servant or mankind does not have will. Qudrah does not have will. Of course, Allah gave him the choice to choose, to select any way he wants, but he must be responsible for his choice. Allah gives the abd, the servant, the will to choose this way or that way. And this is well illustrated in the Quran. Allah the Most High said, فَمَنْ شَاءَ مِنْكُمْ فَمَنْ شَاءَ اتَّخَذَ إِلَى رَبِّهِ مَآبًا فَمَنْ شَاءَ مِنْكُمْ فَمَنْ شَاءَ اتَّخَذَ إِلَى رَبِّهِ مَآبًا. Whoever wants to seek a way with his Lord, to return to his Lord, فَمَنْ شَاءَ اتَّخَذَ إِلَى رَبِّهِ مَآبًا. This means that Allah gives the will, al-mashi'ah, to the servant to do whatever, to do this or that, to do good or wrong, but he must be responsible for his action on the day of judgment. And also, Allah gives the abd al-qudrah, the ability to do any action. And he does not ask any servant to do anything beyond his ability. Everything, every person, every mankind has the ability to do any action. Any action, he can do it. And Allah does not ask anyone to do anything beyond his ability at all. And Allah told us in the Quran, and He said in the Quran, فَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ مَا اسْتَطَعْتُمْ فَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ مَا اسْتَطَعْتُمْ وَاسْمَعُوا وَأَطِيعُوا. We have discussed that the abd or servant has the will and has the ability to do. But he is not expected to do things beyond his ability. Allah gives him the will to do, but to do things according to his ability. And Allah does not ask him to do anything beyond his ability. As Allah said in the Holy Quran, فَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ مَا اسْتَطَعْتُمْ وَاسْمَعُوا وَأَطِيعُوا. Fear Allah according to your ability, as much as you can. and listen and obey. Nevertheless, the ability or the will and the ability of a person does not happen except by the will of Allah. Allah gives him the ability, gives him the will to do whatever he wants. But this does not happen except by the will of Allah. Allah the Most High said in the Holy Quran, لِمَنْ شَاءَ مِنْكُمْ أَنْ يَسْتَقِيمَ وَمَا تَشَاءُونَ إِلَّا أَنْ يَشَاءَ اللَّهُ رَبُّ الْعَالَمِينَ. To whomsoever among you want to be upright, righteous, to do good, and you don't, وَمَا تَشَاءُونَ, and you do not will unless Allah wills. وَمَا تَشَاءُونَ إِلَّا أَنْ يَشَاءَ اللَّهُ رَبُّ الْعَالَمِينَ. And you don't will until Allah wills, the Lord of all mankind. And this is really a very important point, that no one of us, of all human beings, does anything except by the will of Allah. Either good or bad. Either good or bad. Yes. Some people might claim that, okay, if Allah ordains, decrees things upon us, then it is the predestination. It is the divine measure. We should not be blamed for that. Whether we do good or we do bad, it is the predestination. They take the predestination as an excuse for them not to be responsible for their action. And this is false, of course. This is false for sure. Why? For many reasons. First of all, Allah addressed all humanity in the Holy Quran. And the Most High said in the Holy Quran about the disbelievers who took the predestination as an excuse for their disbelief. And Allah addressed them in the Quran, in these verses that I am going, or in this verse that I am going to recite it for you, clearly, that taking the predestination as an excuse for them to do wrong is false. Allah, the Most High, said in the Holy Quran, سيقول الذين أشركوا لو شاء الله ما أشركنا ولا آباؤنا ولا حرمنا من شيء كذلك كذب الذين من قبلهم حتى ذاقوا بأسنا قل هل عندكم من علم فتخرجوه لنا قل هل عندكم من علم فتخرجوه لنا إن تتبعون إلا الظن وإن أنتم إلا تخرصون. It's clear. Through this verse, Allah told the disbelievers that taking the predestination as an excuse is false, and you are going to be responsible for your action. Allah said, or the translation of this verse in the Holy Quran, سيقول الذين أشركوا, the disbelievers who sit partners with Allah will say, had Allah willed, we would not have taken partners beside him, and we would not prohibit anything, and we would not prohibit anything. Indeed, likewise, those before them said the same thing. كذلك كذب الذين من قبلهم حتى ذاقوا بأسنا, until they tasted our punishment. O Muhammad, tell them, do you have knowledge to bring it in front of us? Do you have knowledge about this to bring it, to present it in front of us? They don't have any knowledge to present. Why? They follow nothing except guesses. And they truly lie. So they should not take the predestination as an excuse for them, as an excuse for their wrongdoing. Because Allah told them that those before you use this as an excuse for them to go away, to run away from the punishment. But indeed, Allah punished them. They tasted the torment either in this life or in the hereafter. They tasted, Allah punished those who disobeyed Him in the past. We have many stories about those who went astray, who did wrong. And also nowadays, we are seeing catastrophes in the world, earthquakes, flood, and many punishments. But we don't know. We don't have verses from Allah to tell us that these are kinds of punishment against the wrongdoers. But indeed, it is a punishment from Allah against the wrongdoers. And we will know this in the hereafter. This is the first reason against those who use the predestination as an excuse for their wrongdoing. The second reason for this, Allah sent prophets and messengers to all mankind in order to guide them and not to leave them alone, not to leave them unguided. Allah sent many prophets and messengers to bring them back to the right path. Allah, the Most High, said in the Holy Quran, رُسُلًا مُبَشِّرِينَ وَمُنذِرِينَ لَإِلَّا يَكُونَ لِلنَّاسِ عَلَى اللَّهِ حُجَّةٌ بَعْدَ الرُّسُلِ وَكَانَ اللَّهُ عَزِيزًا حَكِيمًا. رُسُلًا مُبَشِّرِينَ وَمُنذِرِينَ, messengers giving glad tidings and warning the people, so that it does not become a plea for the wrongdoers to take the predestination as an excuse for them. And Allah is the all-powerful, and Allah is the all-wise. We They should not take the predestination or the divine measure as an excuse for their wrongdoing. Otherwise, the messengers and prophets mean nothing. Sending them means nothing. If we are going to take the predestination as an excuse, what is the benefit of the messengers and the prophets? Allah sent the messengers and the prophets in order to tell us that you are going to be responsible for your action. You will be held on the day of judgment for your action. You will not go away at all. Why? Because Allah created us and gives us the ability to think, to contemplate about our creation, to contemplate about the universe, to contemplate about everything going around us. As long as we have this mind, we should think, we should contemplate in order to do good and not to do bad. There is a hadith, it is an authentic hadith, that the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, told us that every human has his seat either in the hellfire or in the paradise. One of the companions said to the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, "Oh, the Messenger of Allah, shouldn't we depend on that and not to act and not to do?" He said, "No, do. Because everyone is eased to do the things that will take him to his place, either in paradise or in the hellfire." Of course, we are talking about the foreknowledge of Allah, the predestination that's set by Allah. Of course, it does not affect too much. I should not say that. It has the predestination related to this matter is part of the unseen. In another word, we don't know our action. Before it's happening. Therefore, we should not take the predestination as an excuse for our action. Why? Because before anything happens, we don't know whether it will happen or not. We know when it happens. Because it is part of the unseen. Of course, it is written in the preserved tablet. It is written in the preserved tablet, Al-Lawh al-Mahfuz, but we don't know. It is according to the foreknowledge of Allah. Allah knows that everyone will do good or will do bad. But it is by His choice. And His choice will not happen unless Allah wills. Yes. Another reason for us not to take the predestination as an excuse for our action. Allah asks us to do lawful things and ask us not to do unlawful things. And it's clear in the Holy Quran. It's clear in the Holy Quran that Allah asks us to do the lawful things and to avoid unlawful things. But He asks us to do so according to our ability. Because Allah said in the Holy Quran, لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها. Allah does not burden any soul, anyone, beyond his ability, beyond his scope. Why? Because Allah will bring us to the day of judgment, to the day of reckoning, to the day of recompense, in order to ask us about our action in this life. If we come to the day of judgment, Allah will ask us about things that we had the ability to do, whether good or bad. And He will not ask us about things that beyond our ability. This is why Allah does not does not bring us to the account for things like forgetfulness, ignorance, and compulsion. If someone is forced to do bad things, of course he is not going to be responsible for that. If one forgets to do something bad, of course, he will not be responsible for that. If one does things according to ignorance, he will not be responsible for that. Allah takes us to the account for things that we have the choice to do. We have the choice to do. And this is part of the justice of Allah the Almighty. And of course, Allah forgives sins like mountains. Why? Because He is the all-forgiving. Yes. Also, we can argue with someone who take the predestination as an excuse for doing things. Suppose that someone attacks someone. And after the attack, the attacker said to the attacked, "Hey, don't blame me. Blame the predestination, the divine measure." Do you think that this man will accept this excuse?
No.
No, at all. If he does not accept this, for things happens for things that he does, why this person takes the predestination as an excuse for his wrongdoing against the right of Allah? It is logic to think this way. Therefore, we should not take the divine measure and the fate or the predestination as an excuse for doing wrong things, for acting against the law of Allah, for breaking the guidance of Allah. We will be responsible for that on the day of judgment. Allah said and Allah decreed and ordained things and wrote them in the Al-Lawh al-Mahfuz 50,000 years before the creation of heavens and earth to to know his ability, to know his omniscient, to know his foreknowledge, that he knows the past, he knows what is going now, and he knows what will happen in the future. It is the knowledge of Allah that has no limit. That has no limit. He's the all-knower. He knows every single detail taking place in this heavens, in the heavens and in the earth. And of course, when we believe in Al-Qadr, our iman, our faith increases. Our faith increases. And you know, the faith increases and decreases. The faith increases with good doing, and the faith decreases with wrongdoing. So, we come to the end of this lecture, and inshallah, by the will of Allah, we will open the discussion group. Inshallah, someone, maybe Khalid. Where is Khalid? Can you stop the